talked about the 4 critical elements in building a lean culture. They are leader-standard work, visual management. They create the discipline to ensure that the process is run as designed and to improve the process. We start with leader-standard work. What does this do and what is it about? Well, first of all, we all know and understand that it's common for people to have standard work, but usually we think of this at the lowest levels within an organization, perhaps an operator. Standard work allows for us to have a dual focus on both process and results. In many organizations, the focus is only on the results, and we look at the results perhaps monthly or quarterly. That's not good enough. That's too late. The activity, the problems, the good things have already occurred, and by the time you review at the end of the month or the quarter, it's too late to react. When you're kind of wondering, how am I going to do this? I got too much to do already. They're asking me to do more, this crazy lean stuff. How can I fit it into my schedule? Well, those are good questions to ask, but we have to remember that we're changing from a reactive nature to a proactive nature focused on continuous improvement. Now, here are a few examples of what might be included in an actual example that I'll show you of leader standard work. Perhaps they do a startup meeting. Then they have manpower planning on a daily basis. The amount of standard work that is dictated or dictates your day varies tremendously. So an operator, perhaps 95% of his or her time is dictated by standard work. You go to the next level up, a team leader, and perhaps 75% of their time is dictated by standard work. And the next level, supervisor, perhaps 50%. And all the way up to the CEO, who would still have standard work, maybe only 5 or 10% of his or her time would be dictated by standard work. Then certain things that are important to the organization don't get done, like continuous improvement. This also applies to office employees, or employees in a hospital, or an accounting firm, or a construction site. Leader standard work also provides for clear and unambiguous expectations. Okay, how about we now look at a real example of leader standard work within a real organization. As you take a quick scan down the left-hand side, you see some certain things that have to be done between a certain time frame. Let's say between 6 and 6:30. You want your own team to develop their own visual management boards based on the objectives and goals that are important to that team. Now, I'm going to show you a couple of examples of some visual management boards, and I like these examples because, well, first of all, it's an office example. And so many organizations, whether you're in manufacturing or service or in a hospital, you can relate to this. And this specific example has to do with entering orders into a system. So many of us get orders, of course. We hope to get orders, and so we enter orders into a system. Many of us can relate to this. Okay, so in this first example, we see that there's a daily production board. All of these meetings share something in common, several things in common. First of all, they're very brief. They're usually done standing up because they are so brief, and the agenda and the content are just obvious. And I say they're obvious because all you should be able to do is follow the board. The visual management boards become the agenda. And an example might be where you go through the process every single day, first viewing the day's production plan, which is right next to the CAPA board, the Corrective Action, Preventive Action board. All of this, because it's so visual and because we do it often, there should be no surprises, and it's quick and easy. An effective lean teacher is insistent and persistent. They teach by stretching the students' imagination and thinking, and they challenge them to consider entirely new possibilities, tear down their perceptions of what they believe is right or wrong, and question everything. The primary reason we do Gemba walking is to identify waste, see the waste, and do something about it. But you could also do Gemba walking, of course, for root cause analysis, to ensure compliance with lean and standard work. The 4 main elements in developing a lean or continuous improvement culture are leader standard work, visual management. What are the benefits? What are the benefits of the 4 elements of a lean culture? In summary, they support lean improvement sustainability. That was one of our main goals. We need to have that in place. It supports the discipline. It is properly and very well aligned with the ISO-based business management system as well, and they should be linked and integrated.